those I can't catch a break guys, get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks. I've had a shit ton of bad breaks. But you know what I did? I stayed up. And I thought through it. And I figured out what the fuck I did wrong. And then I went back. It's like, I fucked up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of shitty breaks. Everybody has. But you got to realize when you have those shitty breaks, what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just little challenges. And the people that look at those challenges and go, why do I always have these challenges? They're cancer. Those people are dangerous to be around. They will rob you of your enthusiasm. They don't give you any fuel. They're the opposite of fuel. Like the fuel people, they're the people that are kicking ass. The people that are out there just fucking hustling, always getting things done. The guy, like my friend Jocko, every morning I'll check his Instagram page, 4:30, shows a picture of his watch. Get after it. He's out there working out 4:30 in the morning. He does it every fucking morning. Why? Because he doesn't want to. And that's how you do it. You go and get after it. You don't make any excuses. And those kind of guys are fuel. But those I can't catch a break guys, they're the opposite of fuel. They're just pissing on your fire. They're no fun. And then the people that surround them are all idiots. Because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guys. Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you got to be like, bro, you got to fucking stop. You got to stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you. But some people, they get caught in that pattern, and it might be their parents, it might be how they were raised. Somebody might have told them they were useless real early on, and it's stuck, and they never feel like they get enough reassurance. They never feel like they get enough motivation. And they feel like other people get more. And they look at all these other people. How come he gets that? How come she gets this? How come he's got that going on? And all that's bad for you too. That shit ain't no good for you. And understanding that you can't listen to people. Because even my parents didn't want me to do martial arts. They didn't want me to fight. They didn't want me to do stand up. There's like, you have to understand like who you are. And then in the face of other people's either criticism or, lack of faith in your ability to succeed, you push through, and there's great benefit in that. And then you realize that you can kind of apply that to other things in life. You can apply that to critics. You can apply that to social media commentators. You can apply that to a lot of things. That's the real message. The real message is we all started from nowhere. I mean, we all had bullshit jobs. We all felt like losers. But through time and effort, you build a stronger human. You build a stronger body. You build a stronger mind. You build accomplishments and will and momentum. And then you look back and you go, hey man, I'm not washing tables anymore. I'm not washing dishes. I'm not cutting lawns. I'm not digging ditches. I'm a different person now, but I used to be.
And these desire not to be there, but not to stay in there. That's what.
That's the hardest part, right? Is to get out of that rut. When you ain't got shit and there's nothing going on, to have faith then is so difficult. To have faith when you're successful, it's like, listen, bitch, you've been successful for a while. Of course you got faith. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Easy.
It's like
absolutely right.
It's like you already got up the hill. Now you're just coasting. You're just rolling down the hill. Everything's great.
That's the easy
part. It's all
part.
Smooth sailing. The hard part is getting up that fucking hill. Especially if you got a dad you're hiding from. Especially if you feel like you're a loser, or you never really had anything in your life that you could look back on and say, hey, I was really good at that. And there's a lot of people out there listening to this. There's so many people that are in that starting point. Like the people that come up to you and say, I don't know what to do. What should I do? How do I do it? How do I get going? You're going to have to figure it out, one foot in front of the other. You're going to have to find a thing and keep working at it and get better at it. That's one of the things that I like so much about martial arts. They let anybody in. Anybody in. And then from learning how to do that, you get better. And then you realize, damn, I can get better at anything. Because the first time I ever did jiu-jitsu, I remember just being manhandled so bad, going, man, I'll never be good at this. This is terrible. I'm fucking awful at this. And this is, I'd already been a black belt in Taekwondo and already kickboxed, already did a bunch of shit. And I was like, I can't believe I'm starting from scratch again. But that at least I knew then that I already had done that before. I'd already started from scratch.
Exactly.
So like I had some experience and started from scratch. I'm like, all I have to do is just put in the time and the effort here.
The desire to get better.
Yeah, that's for everybody. Just find a thing.
Everything.
Like, everybody thinks they're a loser. Every young person thinks they're a loser. At least a young person in the situation I was at. Like, I didn't know I wasn't a loser until I started winning, until I started doing martial arts. Martial arts taught me that, like, I could get better at stuff, that I wasn't really a loser. I just was someone who was, like, in a fucked up situation. But you could channel all that energy that you have as a young person into something and get better at it. And then all of a sudden people admired me. I was like, this is crazy. So I went from being someone who was incredibly insecure and basically a failure to someone who was really successful at this one thing that was very dangerous that other people were scared of. And that gave me immense confidence and also a real understanding of the direct correlation between hard work and success. It's like, don't give yourself an out. The problem is you give yourself an out.
Yeah.
Like, you can't give yourself an out.
Why do I do that, though?
Stephen Pressfield wrote about it in The War of Art.
Yeah.
It's a great book. If you haven't read it, The War of Art, it's a real small book. I used to have a stack of them. I used to hand them out to guests. He talks about this thing that we all have, everyone has, and not just me. I mean, everybody that does anything has. And it's like this voice in your head that wants you to do nothing. This voice in your head, and he calls it resistance.
Yeah.
And he talks about this resistance that is in your head and that you have to decide that you are a professional. This is what a professional does. A professional goes to work and they give in to the muse. Okay, the concept of the muse, whether or not it's real, but the concept of the muse is you settle in and receive creativity almost like as a divine gift from this magical entity, the muse. Now, whether or not it's real is not important. What's important is if you treat it as if it's real, it does work. And what works is if you dedicate your time and your focus, like realistically, with a professional, disciplined effort to creativity. You show up every day like a professional, but you show up to be creative. If you just do it on a regular basis, ideas will come to you. Where are these ideas coming from? Well, his concept was to think of it as you're a professional and you're getting these ideas from the muse. And this is what you do. You show up and you do the work, you focus on it, and these ideas will come to you. And that's really true. If you really stop and think about it, if you write something, whether it's the most brilliant thing you've ever written or whether you're not good at editing and it turns out to be dog shit, where's that coming from, man? You're just sitting down in front of your laptop and these thoughts are coming to you and all of a sudden you're talking about a kid who's riding a bike and he gets attacked by a werewolf. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? If it's not coming from the muse, where is it coming from? Well, it's coming from my creativity. Okay. Do you know how to access your creativity like you can blink? No, you don't. Do you know how you access your activity like you can lick something or perform any sort of physical function that's repeatable? No, you don't. It's a non-repeatable thing. Treat it like it's magic. But treat it like you're a professional and you show up to engage with the magic. So every day, at the same time, you sit down in front of your keyboard and you start working. And just put in the work, and force yourself to do it. Force it like a muscle, like the same muscle that you develop when you go running every day. And then you get to the point where like 7 days in, you start fucking feeling good running.
Right. So you start to feel like you're good at it.
You start feeling like you're getting better.
Yeah.
Because you're putting in the time. There's something that I figured out personally, and that I try to relay this, and I try to be more clear and more concise the way I relay it. The way I look at it is that your mind, you have a certain amount of bandwidth. This is why I don't read Instagram comments or Twitter comments or YouTube comments. Like, I don't have any time. If I read them, it's an accident. But to seek them out, you have bandwidth. I don't spend time wondering why I hate things or hating on someone or being jealous. You have, let's call it units. You have 100 units of bandwidth in your mind. So that means there's 100 units that you can spend on things you care about, or you could let your mind be occupied by some stupid fucking Twitter feud that you're in with some idiot that you don't even know, and you could spend 30% of your Twitter bandwidth or your mind bandwidth on this, and then you only have 70% for the things you love. And then maybe you're involved in some fucking relationship with someone who's an idiot and you're arguing back and forth with them. Well, there's another 30% that's gone. Now you have 40% left. You have 40% for the things you love instead of 100%. Even the regrets, the bad things or the stupid things, you learn not to do bad things or stupid things. You know, all those things are beneficial in some way if you can get through them. You know, if you like did something that resulted in someone's death or something horrible like that, yeah, it'd be a terrible regret. But I've been very fortunate that hasn't happened. But the dumb shit that I've done or the bad mistakes that I've made, they've taught me. You know, you learn. Like, that's why failure is so important. Like failing and fucking up and making mistakes. It's very important. That's how you learn. The bad feeling that you get from something that you shouldn't have done or wish you didn't do or wish you did better. Like especially failing at something where you half-assed it and you just feel like a fucking loser. Like that just teaches you. It teaches you to get your shit together. Yeah, it's dangerous to dwell on past mistakes because people sort of define themselves by the worst moments that they've ever had. And if that's the case, like some people are stuck in high school. You know, they're stuck in failures that they had like when they were first getting jobs and they always think that they're a loser and they don't like the feeling of failure, so they keep low expectations so that they never have to feel that. You got to get through it. You got to get through bad feelings. You got to get through failure. It's very important. And you get through it by just picking yourself back up and moving forward and going. But it's hard for a lot of people because that sting, they never get over it, the feeling of failure. And they don't have a good support system, like good friends. Like having a good community of friends is very, very important because you can feel like down, like if a girl broke up with you and you feel like you're the worst, you're a fucking loser, like you're a piece of shit. But then you go out with your friends and you have a few laughs and next thing you know, you're laughing and you're like, I'm on it. We'll be all right. And then maybe you meet a new lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she like picks you up and you're like, oh, I'm going to be okay. And then you learn from the last mistakes.
Yeah.
That's life. It just, those feelings of failure are so hard. They're so hard to get over and they overwhelm people and some people can't get past them. And then every time some new thing comes up, when you have to rise to the occasion, you have to perform, you think about that time you failed and it fucks your head up, man. You think I'm a fucking loser. I can't do this. I'm going to fail. I'm going to fuck up, you know. Problems. This problem that you had that was rotting you away no longer existed. So now all of a sudden it frees up your time and you realize, oh my God, there's so many funny things that I could talk about and I have so much energy and I'm so healthy. I could just go on stage and have fun and then you're killing it.
Hey there. If you're enjoying our content, show some love. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to stay tuned for more. Let's build something awesome together. Subscribe for more now.